Hi, this is Old Light, and today I'm going to show you an easy build with a simple loot. It's manageable for new lights or perhaps older players that have little knowledge of first-person shooters, something like that. I'm not going to break it down into infinite detail. You can go elsewhere to do that. I'll add a link below to the dim link where you can get that detail if you would like. This video is so you can load it up, have a shot, have some fun. I'm not going to explain how all of the different aspects and abilities and so on link together. I'll show you which ones I've chosen, and if you want to, when you load them, you can have a look more at the descriptions of them if you want to know more. I just want to get people up and running as quickly as they can. Yeah, I suppose you describe it as an overview. Again, I'm 70 years old. I'm not the fontable knowledge. I have a bit of a mild stammer, so just bear with me with that. The way I've sort of gained my knowledge is looking at YouTube videos or Google if I get stuck. I know it sounds intimidating to do that, but you'll probably need to do that at some point to fill in those gaps and to know how everything works. And you'll never really work out how to do it just from playing the game. I would think that would be impossible. If you use ChatGPT or other AI, they can also help, but I know not everyone's into that. So let's jump straight into it. It revolves around geomag stabilizers as your exotic, and that damaging targets with Chaos Reach, which will be the super you use, extends its duration so it goes for longer. And collecting ionic traces, which I'll describe a little bit more in a minute, grants you energy for your super. And also sprinting when you've got a lot of bulk charge will grant stacks over time, which also goes to regenerating your super. So it's an excellent exotic. So just quickly, I'll show you what abilities, aspects, fragments that I use. I'm not going to explain them all, like I said, in detail. When you go to load these fragments in, if you want to do it after I've shown you the build, you can see in what each one does and in relation to one another. Perhaps you can work that out. So for those people that don't know what abilities, aspects, and fragments are, which you might not, I'll give you a quick rundown. Okay, abilities. They're as they sound. They're abilities like grenades, melee, and rifts that are on top of and separate to your weapons. And then fragments. They're items that modify or enhance your abilities. And then there's aspects, which modifiers that give you a subclass, in this case ARC, unique perks and change how your abilities function. So they're all linked in together. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. It's just an overview. So the abilities I use are Healing Rift, Balanced Glide, rather than a quick directional control or a strong speed at the start. I use like a balance between the two. Ball Lightning, which shoots out a perpendicular lightning strike that hits protagonists and then shoots out to other ones near them. It's very good. And then Storm Grenade, which takes out quite a few bad guys within a large area. It shoots down a lightning storm, and then a lot of other lightning bolts come down around it in a simplistic manner. Okay, so the fragments I use are Spark of Resistance, so you get more damage resistance if there's a lot of combatants around you, which we're going to use a fusion rifle, so it's not long distance, so that always comes in handy. Spark of Shot, which is your arc grenades jolt targets. If you want to know what jolt is, you can look at these when you load them in, and it will tell you when you hover over it what they are. Spark of Discharge, when you kill things with your weapons, it gives you a chance of having an ionic trace, and I'll explain what ionic traces are, but they're very important to this build. And then Spark of Frequency, which is melee hits increase your equipped weapons reload speed and stability for a short duration. So both the arc weapons I'm using don't reload particularly quickly, so that's why I use that. And then your aspects, ionic sentry. If you defeat targets with your kinetic or arc weapons, it charges up an arc turret. That when you let it go, it chains lightning between nearby targets and basically kills them. Any other information you can look at there if you want to when you load this in. It's like a little autonomous little robot that shoots out chained lightning to kill things autonomously. And then we're using electrostatic mind, which defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. Again, ionic traces are the things that we need for this build. Now they look like vertical sort of little bolts that when you kill something, they head towards you and you absorb them. And then those help you to regenerate your grenades very quickly and your super. Now your super in this instance is Chaos Reach, which is a long-range beam of arc energy that if you have sustained damage on a single target, creates a jolting lightning strike. So it's very powerful. It's good on bosses, or you can sweep it around and just wipe out whole swaths of ads. It's, so it depends on what what's available to be shot at the time, basically. But it's good on bosses as well. So, and you get it back pretty quickly if you pick up a lot of these ionic traces. Now, the weapons that I use are Delicate Tomb, which is a fusion rifle. Now that gives you a chance to generate ionic traces if you kill something. If you kill powerful foes, pretty much guaranteed you'll get ionic traces. Now, it generates a lot, so that means your grenades come back quicker and your super comes back quicker. But the more ionic traces you get, the quicker your super and your grenades regenerate. To be honest, you're probably using your grenades more than you're using your weapons in this build, because they come back so quickly. You'll notice when I give you the demo, have a look at how quickly your grenades are regenerating. So if you've got an arc soul, if you've got a now I forgot what it's called already. Hang on a sec. If you've got an arc turret, sorry, not arc soul. If you've got an arc turret, that'll autonomously kill a lot of stuff. And generally, before that ends, you'll have a grenade. So you throw a grenade, shoot a couple of things, you've got an arc turret back again. So, you're concentrating more on where you're going to lob your grenades as you are to shooting things. But if you do shoot stuff with your weapons, try and use your Delicate Tomb as much as possible, because then you get more ionic traces, and then you get more arc turrets, and so on. So the other thing too is with your character stats, you need to get your grenade and your super up as high as you can. Now, I could be fucked because I want to do this video today, going back and trying to lift my super up higher, because it's just a bit of mucking around with your armor and finding one that's got a high super stat or whatever. I had a quick look, but it was taking too long. So I've got my grenade up fairly high. I'm getting 33% extra damage in PvE, and I get my super back fairly quickly, you'll see. But if you get it over 100, it will regenerate a lot quicker. And then I got my weapons start up, which gives me 10% reloading and handling and 58% damage, which is better than a poke in the eye of the sharp carrot. And I don't have any. That's something else that we'd have to go into another day. Okay, so I'll give you a quick look at the armor mods that I use, but I'm not going to go again into too much detail about them either. So I've got Harmonic Siphon, which rapid final blows create an orb of power. Now you need orbs of power, and I'll quickly talk about that in a minute. This is to bring up special ammo quicker. So when you fill your special ammo meter, it also creates smaller bricks for your allies. Although I might swap that out for increases the effect of all contributions to a special ammo meter, so that gives me more ammo. I've not got any alloys at the moment. And then your strand siphon, which final blows create orbs of power also. And I've got a strand kinetic weapon, so that will probably generate some orbs of power. I'll talk about this when I give you the demo as well. In gauntlets, we've got bolstering detonation, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. So that gives you your health, your healing rift back more quickly because you might need it. You know, if your survivability is not the greatest, which is a bit like me, I'm always getting killed. And then harmonic loader, which increases the reload speed of arc weapons. I've got 2 arc weapons that don't reload very quickly, so that comes in handy. And then your grenade final blows create orbs of power. Again, more orbs of power. And you're using a grenade a lot, so that's a lot of orbs of power. And then you go to concussive dampener, reduces incoming area effect damage from combatants. So you're in close, up close and uncomfortable, trying to shoot your fusion rifle, so it's handy to have that. And this also, and then the other 2, depending on where you're fighting, is depending on what resistance you need to certain subclasses. So if you've got bad guys that are using Void and Arc, then you would put them up. If they're using Solar, you would put a Solar resistance up there and so on. Pretty straightforward. And then we've got our Geomag stabilizers, our legs. And this is where you use the orbs that you've created by those other means we talked about. So this reduces grenade cooldown every time you pick up an orb of power. So if you find orbs of power on the ground, pick them up, reduces your grenade cooldown. Also, absolution, which reduces all ability cooldowns when you pick up an orb of power. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. Also replenishes health every time you pick up an orb of power. So those 3 things work in synergy with the other things on your helm and arms, arms and chest armor about creating orbs. And then you use them for those things. Okay, so before I get too confused, the last ones are for your bond. So it's powerful attraction. Whenever you activate your class ability, your healing rift, orbs of power get sucked towards you, around you. Very handy. And then distribution, which reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near targets. So if you use your class ability near the bad guys, it reduces all your ability cooldowns. So your melee and your grenade. And collecting an orb of power causes you to gain armor charge, which is a good thing because it increases your survivability. I'm not going to go into armor charge right now, but you can do that if you want to when you're doing this loadout. Okay, so that's it. So we'll go in and I'll give you a demonstration of this. I'm going to go to Caldera because, you know, just opposite your spawn point, there's an area where there's a lot of bad guys doing a lot of stuff. It's not the hardest part of the game, but I've got to talk to you while I'm doing it, so I don't want to get killed every 5 seconds because my reaction times could be better. So let's do that right now. So we need to go to, how do you get there now? Oh yeah, I know, Edge of Fate. There you go. Caldera. We'll put it on Fabled, which is the highest difficulty on Caldera, which is still not. It's like 3 out of 5, so it's fairly bit tricky, but nothing too challenging. Obviously, depending on your skill level, you're going to try this loadout in places that you might just go on a strike just to give it a shot. Or you might be trying it out in, you know, the Frontier in Renegades. I've tried it in there and it works perfectly well. You know, I was holding my own, so in Frontier. So, you know, but just to make it a bit more easy for me to, like I said, talk while I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to lob my grenade. That'll take out a few guys. I'm going to try to use my fusion rifle as much as I can to get ionic traces. Now see an ionic trace heading towards me. There, I got it. And now I've got an arc turret. So throw that out. Now you can see the arc turret over there shooting everything around it. It's wiped out pretty much everything. And now there's more guys landing and it's just taken men out as well. Okay, I've got another one, so I'll lob it about there so that anything that spawns within its distance, it'll take out. You can see it, bam, bam, taking pretty much everything out. I haven't killed enough dudes yet with my fusion rifle to get all my super back, but I'm getting there. Okay, there's some orbs of power up here. I picked them up. Now you can see my super level went up drastically there and I've nearly got it. One more should do it. Oh, not quite. Okay, so let's go up here. Got to kill these dudes so I can get another lot of bad guys. Okay, I got my super now. There's another ionic trace. You can see them zipping towards me when I've killed things. There's another one. Now they're the most important thing, so you can get all your grenades back. Okay, so got another sentry there. Lob him in there. Now we just sit back and watch that. You can see it taking everything out over there. So if you're a bit low on health, you can go hide and just watch that thing do the damage for you. And I've got another one. I love it here. You can see it's taken aim at that big thing there. Can't remember what it's called. Bam, got it. Machine gun. Good machine gun. So I got another sentry, a turret I mean. There you go, taking them out. You see, I'm not using my weapons all that much. I should have used my super then so I could show you how quickly it regenerates. Okay, I'll do that now. Couldn't quite see them up there. Bit of a waste, but... Okay. More bad guys. Normal grenade. Okay. Melee. Get the health back. Now you can see my super's already at half because of these ionic sentries I'm getting from killing these guys. Okay, so get a grenade at this fella. Nearly got my super back. Take him out with my super. Job done. Turret. Job done again. Okay, look, I'll just do it once more. Just to show you. Okay, so I've got hardly any super at the moment. Grenade. Okay, turret. Lob it near the big guy. You can go and hide for a while, watch it happen. Nearly got him. So got another turret because of all the bad guys that killed them. Throw that over there. Pick up some of these orbs. Nearly got my super back already. That should do it, yep. That's... turret's still killing people. There you go. Super comes back quite quickly. The more kills you get, the quicker you pick up the orbs. There's some more there if I need them, but don't at the moment. I get health and so on if you do that. Yeah, so give it a shot. It's pretty easy. You'll find once you get into that loop, it's not really a loop actually, this one, but if you get into the, you know, the routine of it, throw a grenade, kill things with your fusion rifle. If you run out of ammo with fusion rifle, use your machine gun. By that time you've got a turret, throw your turret out. Normally kills a lot of stuff. Use your super as often as you can, because you remember it's not like when you're playing a game normally where you keep your super for the boss or whatever. Got another turret. You get it pretty quickly, depending on how many kills you get and so on. Sorry if I'm rambling a bit here. Okay, I'll just do this once more. Here's another turret. So you see I get so many turrets. I've still got one just finished here. I got another one. Having a go at this wyvern. He's a bit hard to kill, but he'll get him. There he goes. Voila! And I got 3/4 of my super back already. I've got nothing left to kill, so voila. Okay, so that's it. If you like the video, please like it. If you've got any comments, keep them civil, because you know I'm an idiot and I ramble and I do stupid things when I'm playing, but I already know that, so you don't need to fucking remind me, okay? And if you've got any questions, put them down there. I'm going to do some more videos on easy builds. I've got a couple that virtually run themselves. So all you have to do is stick them on the bad guys, and there's one that you hardly even use your weapons at all. So if you found this one enjoyable, I think you'll like the next two that I do. This is Old Light out.